But we are the one who is suffering most. Right? Impact is on us. Who bothers? Our two neighbors. I'm sorry if somebody from our neighborhood. The point is, sometimes what happens is, yes, we have this problem, yes, I know this, but there are only two choices. Either I eat this poison and survive for next 2 more days, or I die today. I have nothing to eat. Sometimes the situation may be like that. So they are forced to go with this. But sometimes what happens, why should I bother about others? As long as I am benefiting. If something goes here, something goes wrong in Nepal, I can live in XYZ country, anywhere, if I have money. And that has been our attitude, and that has been the problem where adaptation or mitigation is not working. Now we are also separating these two. I work on mitigation, I work on adaptation. You work here, you work there. I do this, you do that. Why should I do this? Why should you do that? Mitigation is expensive, so I don't bother about this. We go for adaptation. Simple. Why do we go for mitigation? When it is expensive, I have to pay so much. I don't want to. I will not pay. Then we are trying to do something, I pay you, you plant, you get the greenery, that will absorb the carbon, and then I can still produce this. I'm free to produce. Now, isn't it like another example I'll say, if you'll agree with me, just let me know. I will kill someone and I will pay. I am a billionaire, I can pay millions, say $10 million. That person may be from a poor family, I will kill, I will pay $10 million to the family, and I'm free. Doesn't it mean that with every $10 million I can kill a person? Yes, sir? So in that way, aren't they doing the same crime? I produce carbon, I will go with the greenhouse gas emission. You sequester, I paid for it. But nobody bothered to look at this from this type of angle, for example. Did we look at like this? When I say I kill you and I pay, maybe you are sensitive. But when I say, okay, I produce, I will pay. Oh, I'm also earning, what's wrong? We are happy with that. So, are these the solutions? Are these the things that we are looking for? And this is what is happening. Those who have money, they have different rule.
Exactly.
They have a different law. And those who are poor, for them, it's a different law. In our country, in our society, in our continent, and in our world, everywhere, no matter who says. And these are the problems, that consequences of all this are these problems. So building resilience, how can you build resilience? Until and unless we come together.
But the case of the country who are producing this greenhouse, they are not willing to pay either.
That is another extreme again, but I will not, even without touching that, you agree that there is a severe crime, right?
Yes.
Now, look at this. We all are happy with this green. We want to see the greenery. When there is greenery, we are happy. Our eyes are happy. Some of you I see here wearing green t-shirts. So why bother about all these things? Why not to paint? Let's say the paint industry can only produce green color. No more other colors. Only produce green color. Everything green, everywhere green. You should be happy with that, right? If green is pleased. Is there a problem with the green? We are obsessed with colors, obsessed with something, and that is the problem. Nature has given us so many colors. One of them is green. We enjoy all. But the problem is when we become selective, someone gets beauty in this, finds beauty in green, someone finds beauty in this or that. Now look at this, there are pines, but there are also other species that produce there. Again we have a problem. Pines, not good. These environmentalists, they have created green desert over this. We had a lot of pines planted, and so in that pine plantation, a blame was again there. They produced a green desert. We forgot the nature. Now you have come across a word or a concept called nature-based solution. Everybody's talking about this now. Now this is highlighted. But have anybody thought of this? What is nature-based solution? Without this terminology in practice, we have always done that. We have always experienced that. This is age-old concept, not today or yesterday invented. The term was coined maybe yesterday, a few years back, but the concept at all, it was existed for years, centuries, I would say. The problem here is when you plant in a very degraded area, it can only survive with what kind of species? Which is hardy. Why there is camel in desert? Why no other animals? Don't you like to have tiger? They like to have tiger, I'm sure. Why they can't have tiger? Tiger can't survive in the desert. Why camel? Because of that reason. Why pine? Because of the hardy. It is hardy. It can grow in different difficult environment. That is why there was pine plantation. Once pine come up, they create an environment. Then others can come in there. Slowly it will make way to the other species that you like. And that is the way nature works. That is the way the nature solution is. Nature-based solution follows like that. But what we are trying to do is, we like something, we want to achieve that at any cost, at anything. I like this, this has to be there. And we go for this. I think this is a good picture that gives everything. I just got it from somewhere in Facebook. Teaching about the trees and their benefits. This is what we are doing. I'm sorry, sir. You are missing maybe. But you don't mind maybe for a while, Munsa. This picture is very interesting. We can see it. Beautiful.
That's the reality.
Slowly we are moving towards this. Now, I showed you a picture a while ago, and this is another picture of similar area. What we need, we don't bother about. We like that greenery. We like to have all those things. But what we are most concerned about is this, these products. The sand, gravels, boulders, and how we collect it. Whether it is available or it is safe or not, we don't bother about those things. We want that. We need that and we get that. I don't know if I should be saying our government is doing something like this right now. These things, these are the things, again, contradiction. At one side, we like greenery, all those things. Other side, these are the things. Now, how can we balance between these two? That is the question. Question number one, I'm saying. Okay? Now, at this side, I don't know, left or right, whatever. There you can see a tree. This is a pine tree. This is pine tree is good for resin tapping. Resin comes out like this. So they're tapping resin here. Again, those who are complaining, green desert, this money is coming to them every year out of this. Then in that area, nature has a solution. Okay, all this within that seed falls and another tree grows if they get an environment. But the problem is, they set fire intentionally, deliberately, because they don't like to have these pine needles on the ground. And in that, what happened was, due to tapping and something, there was some windfall or broken that tree, and then they destroyed, cut it through, and they say, pine is not good. This is bad, this is this. It's not giving me this or that, and come take other ones again. What we are looking for, this is the way of nature's adaptation. Why pine came there? Because nothing else could come. Nature-based solution was that, and nature gave that pine that strength. It grows in a very little water. It preserves water within itself, and then it is very hardy. Even it can resist fires. But if the fire penetrates inside the resin duct, then it becomes a really difficult fire. Otherwise, it will be very resistant. Now talking about this, what we saw is solution. Solution is what? Plant trees. Isn't it? Whatever happened with the climate change, you always said plant trees, plant trees, plant trees. Right? Grow greenery, 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 everywhere greenery. Now what happened? Talking about Nepal now. Particular case, I recently came across. And then what I found was, with that greenery, socio-demographic situation of the villages have changed. In the villages, you find more elderly population than you. Most of the young population is either in the nearby town or cities or abroad or working somewhere in this Gulf countries or Malaysia or somewhere else. And that is the reality for us. Nobody is there to work, and those who are there to work are not that strong, not that capable. So many land that they used to cultivate are being converted to forest automatically by nature. Trees are growing on there. Recently what happened now was, not recently, I will say in the last 5, 7 or 10 years, population of monkey has grown so much. Because of this monkeys, they used to live in forest, no problem, fine, as long as they are there. But when they start coming to the settlement, when they start destroying or disturbing the people, their farm, then that becomes a problem. And this has become a big problem, that their farms are always destroyed. The crops are always destroyed by the monkeys. And now what they have experienced is they even come to their kitchen, grab their cooked food, attack them. So they are so much worried with this. And this is the reality at many society, many community, in many villages. Now that was the issue in the local election, and that, most of the candidates put this as one of the points in their manifesto. If I win, I will help you get rid of monkey monkeys. And they won. The winners now, they tried looking for a solution, they didn't find, and now what they did, they said, okay, I'll provide like 100,000 rupees per hectare if you clear your forest land, cut the trees. This is what is happening, and what has happened, I'm talking the 100% correct facts. Okay? And now what happened, they are getting money for cutting this, they have incentive for cutting because they are getting rid of the monkey menace. When I talk to them and ask them, how can you think of that monkey will stop, because monkey can go without trees also.
Exactly.
They said, monkey will not be hiding now in nearby areas on the trees. As long as trees are there, we cannot chase them. Now we can see monkey coming from a distance. If it starts coming, we can be prepared now. So for that preparation, they are willing to cut the trees. And what is the history in Nepal? Community forestry. And Nepal is getting that big title, big name, the success story of community forestry in Nepal. We have recovered all those greenery lost, deforestation impact were lost and all this. And we are feeling proud, and we are still saying all those things in the literature, in the write-ups, everywhere. Only to find this, that community forestry has very little use nowadays. One is this monkey issue. Another is they have not cut the community forest because it is legally protected. Only problem was with the private, they can cut it, it's private property. Community forestry, yesterday it used to supply the need of the people. Now nobody needs it. Firewood, who bothers about firewood? One cylinder LPG is good enough for the couple, elderly couple. They can survive for about 3 months with that. Why bother going every day to the forest to cut the firewood? No need. They used to have livestock in the past. The number has reduced significantly, even to the extent that they have even stopped. They used to farm cow and buffalo, and they get milk out of that. They were milking. Now they said, it comes from the city. They can sell it here. I can buy. Why bother about raising livestock? Changing lifestyle. Timber replaced by concrete. Even in the villages, concrete has reached. Aluminium, other forms of construction material. So they don't bother about that community forest anymore. Things are there, now nobody bothers about all those trees and others. It is growing, but it has no use. Population of monkey has grown so much. There are other wildlife also. Leopards have grown, porcupine, then wild boar, and they are creating havoc and menace, but the worst was monkey in this case. So, is tree a solution? For climate change, adaptation, we always promoted in the straight line relation, plant. And now what happened? That plantation is again not a solution to us. What has happened is a kind of species mix, the dynamics, the plants that were there probably as a food for those monkeys also are not there. They are missing probably now. They are looking for all this. Maybe yesterday there was a balance in population which we have distorted. Human population is decreasing in the villages. So wildlife population and forest is growing. What is the real thing? We have not yet properly understood, not yet properly investigated, researched, but we are so intelligent, just simply looking at those things, we know what to prescribe. And there are prescriptions already there for monkey menace. Cut the trees. And similarly others. So we talk about adaptation, we talk about this mitigation, we don't bother so much in Nepal. We say, why should we go for mitigation? We mainly go for adaptation and all this arguments, let it be whatever. The problem with us is right now, what we go with, I think it is a problem of communication. We have not been able to communicate properly among us, between the parties, and our communication with nature is also not good. We always say that we are very good, very intelligent. Now we are also worried about our AI factors will be superior to us and maybe a question to our own survival. I don't know. That can also be a kind of a, may not be, I don't know about that. But the problem is, being superior, this is what we want to maintain. And we don't want to communicate with the nature which is supremo, even much superior to us. Climate change will only wipe out us, not the earth, not the nature. Just remember this. Whatever we are doing is not for them, not for the earth, not for the nature. We are doing all this for us, for this human race. And I'm always thinking of something like, maybe I don't know what kind of creature will be there in the future, 200, 500, 1000 years from now. But then when they come and talk about the history, they will say, the human race used to live in this planet so many years ago. They thought themselves to be very intelligent and they challenged nature and they were also wiped out. So probably they can take a lesson from this. The way we are taking now, the dinosaurs, they used to live this planet, they ruled everywhere. And maybe that day is not very far if we are going right with this pace, the way we are moving. So the thing is, aren't we talk about all these things among us, as they say in English, preaching the converted. We talk to those people who are already concerned about the climate change, those who are already into this green business, those who are already understanding this. So we understand, we have the same wavelength, we talk about all these things and we can very well understand companies. Problem we have is with the other breed, other group, other one, who are more powerful, who are understand. The problem here is, in the global forum, what happened with the Paris Agreement? There were so many. All the countries agreed on one side. I'm sorry, I think he's from USA. Mr. Trump, the president then said, we don't bother about this Paris Agreement, we don't agree on this. And done. What happened to that Paris Agreement for so many years? It was a limbo, useless. And who could do what? Nothing. So there is always two kinds of law or three kinds of law existing in the globe, not only here, not only here. So things are, it is the problem, and where we are failing, why can't we communicate to Trump properly? Why he could not understand, or why we could not do something to let him understand this? I'm sure he is not someone who cannot understand, who understands probably. But then our communication effort was not there. Or maybe what was the real reason for stopping this communication? We didn't bother about that. Take the case of this recent pandemic. Why all those things were happening so much? There was a big business in it.
Exactly.
Whether the facts are established or not, business was there. That's the fact. This vaccines, the companies, they were making money, they made money. There was something serious with this. But then, can't we do something that would have made it better? There are certain communications which was really disheartening, about this company called Pfizer. You might have seen the journalist ragging the chief of that company. I don't know if you're able to see that, was very viral. So, these are some of the things that stops us, and I think instead of blaming them not doing this, instead of blaming Trump not doing this, instead of blaming not doing this, why can't we look at ourselves and say that we failed in our communication? How should we do so that the others will understand also? So that I can communicate properly, so that they will feel this. When two persons, two little boys can talk without knowing the language, communicate very well. We knowing all the language, why we fail? There are so many other factors behind. We don't come to the talking table first. We only come there to talk. If I talk, there has to be someone to listen. Are they prepared to listen first? If they are not ready to listen, it is only a formality. You can be physically present, mentally absent in any scenario. And what is the use of communication there? There will be no communication. So I think adaptation is not a technical problem. Adaptation also is a problem of communication. Who are failing? We are failing. We always say they are failing. I communicated, they didn't receive, they didn't take. But I think we are failing, those who are trying to communicate. We have not been able to communicate. And we are failing. Isn't it that we should look at it from a different perspective now? Can we do that? Turn around. You always have seen the 6 and 9 issue all the time. You have seen that, right? You put 6 here, I stand here, I will say 6, the other side someone will stand and the person will say 9. Both are right at the same time. From this side it is 6, from the other side is 9. I have seen only from 6 and we talk about this. We all are the same looking at this from the 6. We never bother about going to the other side and look at it from the 9's perspective. So maybe we need to change this perspective and look at it from their angle and then talk to, invent a language maybe that will communicate with them, that we call they or them. What we are looking at, development. Yes, we need. They are riding a car. They have been to the space. They are doing this. Why should we not be having that privilege? Why only they and not me, not us, not we? Why only they? We have all that privilege also. We should have that. We are also the same. We need to have that. Okay. But what they have done is right or not? We should get that, but if it is right, then only. If it is not right, why should we bother about getting that if it is not right? And then, if someone did a mistake, why should we be doing the same mistake again? Can't we think like this? We need development, but can we talk about another word added to it, sustainable? Something that can sustain, that can live longer, that can be a permanent. Like habit. Do something today so that I can live with this tomorrow also. But the problem here is sustainable development doesn't bring in all those benefits, charms, everything right now. Okay? In Nepali, they made a joke, Milk has so many health benefits, right? So drinking milk is good. But Nepalis are known for other drink. Roxy, distilled liquor. And somebody said, you never know when that milk will affect or help or make you strong or not. But if you drink this Roxy, you can see the impact immediately. So why bother about that long-term impact and other things? Just drink something that affects, that is effective. So the first term is always good for all of us. The second one is like milk, nobody bothers about this. We need that Ayla, Roxy, not the milk. Are we committed saying all these things? Are we committed? We always blame, you did not do that, you. But are we committed? Am I committed? I, me, we. Ask ourselves first. Solution is there, but then I am not. I say you do. I don't do. What I say you don't do. A doctor said, don't smoke. It's injurious. Right? And after a while, somebody, a patient saw the doctor was smoking. When I asked, when the patient asked the doctor, I said, do what I say. I said, don't do what I do. Only say, not do. These are some of the problems. We are not committed, but we want others committed. And now we talk about leaders. We have a very good scapegoat. Our leaders are not doing this. Our leaders are this. Our leaders are that. Our leaders. Had there not been the leaders, there could have been another scapegoat for us. We always blame our leaders. Political leaders, other leaders and all this. Let me say, are you not a leader? In your field, in your area, what you are doing, you all are the leader here. Climate change activists. climate change person. Action, all this. You are something like the old sages of our history, who even gave their life for saving the planet and Earth and so many other people. You are into this crusade because you know that this is going to destroy our race. Right? Our culture, our race. So you are into this, but we have this scapegoat. Our leaders are doing something wrong, something bad, something. Look at the communication. I blame them, they blame me. We confront, nothing happens. Action zero. And I look at it now, I feel that our leaders are our reflection. Who I am, what we are, what we do, that is reflected in our leaders. Because we are the one who made them leaders. We are the one who elected them to be in that office. They didn't come there by something else. So-called God did not put them into that chair. We are the one who elected, voted, and involved them here, right? So they are our reflection. We have whatever we are, that is we see in them. So we should start thinking, and we should start seeing ourselves in them. And if we want to change, then only probably they will change also. We don't want to change, we want them to change. That is a problem. So, being us a leader, think ourselves as a leader, and leaders think about others, futures and all this. But what we are doing is right now, we think about ourselves. Me, my. Me and my are the worst words that is happening, and that is what is following. The leaders also are doing it. Now, if we change ourselves, probably then we can think about our leaders. And those leaders will be our reflection. If we change, maybe they will also change. Or maybe we will change them. But first, we have to change. Maybe our communication will start then. I want to end my disturbing languages and whatever I have talked with this Martin Luther King's word here. We need leaders not in love with money, with justice, but in love with justice. That is what we need. Not in love with publicity, but in love with humanity. And this is what we want. That means we have to have that leadership quality in us. We have to look for this leadership quality in us, in others, and then plant them as our leader, and probably then things will happen in a right way. And also one thing I would like to highlight is, let's not look for a solution in a straight line cause and effect, just with an arrow. That can be. You have a headache, take cinnamon. Not arrow. There are so many things. If you change something, there will be many things that will be changed in the nature. Nature is a delicate balance. It has done so many things. It has to balance so many systems. Just look at your body as a system. How complex and complicated is the system here? Something, a pin or a needle pricks you here, but the whole pain is felt somewhere else also. The whole system is affected. So look at all those things from system perspective. Try to instill that kind of attitude, that kind of feeling and understanding. If we change ourselves, if our change, then it will change our communication strategy, and probably then it will be the time that we can communicate properly and we can achieve what we have done. We have tried so much, and that has failed. So maybe we can try this also, if it helps. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Binod sir. As he was the